Hi there. So, what is 3:16? Well, I'm glad you've asked. 3:16 is actually a verse from the Bible. It's perhaps the most famous verse from the Bible. It says, "For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have eternal life." This is the best news ever. It starts off with God. For God so loved the world. What's surprising here is that the world represents all the people of the world. It's about everyone who lives on this planet. But the world, well, hasn't always been that pro-God. The world has been really very anti-God. When Jesus came, we read that people didn't accept him. They wanted him dead. And if we look into our own hearts, and maybe if we can see into the hearts of people around us, we'll see that a lot of hearts aren't really loving and adoring God. A lot of hearts are very anti-God. But this verse says that God so loved the world, this world which was against him, which is quite a surprise and very good news to start with. Well, God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son. That's Jesus. Jesus came to this world. He was born as a baby. He grew up. He taught God's truth. He demonstrated his divine authority by doing miracles. But most importantly, he died on a cross. He died on a cross as a sacrifice for you and me. He suffered the punishment that we deserve for our rebellion against God. And God showed his love by giving his one and only Son to die on that cross for you and me. And we know that Jesus paid that penalty for sin because he rose from the dead. God so loved the world, you and me, that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have eternal life. It says, whoever believes in him. You might find it easy to use the word rely or trust. Whoever relies on him, whoever trusts in him. This is good news for whoever trusts and relies on Jesus. And whoever trusts and relies on Jesus will not perish. That means to die, to experience hell, to be cut off from God. We see a picture of perishing when Jesus died on the cross. But this is good news. Whoever believes in him will not perish. And there's a second piece of good news. They will have eternal life. That's a quality of life. Knowing God and living with God and having God in your life now. But it doesn't say whoever believes in him will not perish but have life, but who have eternal life. Life with God now and forever. This is the wonderful and good news in John 3:16. God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son to die on that cross. That whoever believes, whoever trusts, whoever relies on Jesus will not perish, but will have eternal life. And so I've got a question for you. Is God calling you right now, right today, to trust and rely on Jesus, on his death, on his resurrection? That's John 3:16.